Hey everyone, it's time to watch Nindeviled Eggs! Ha 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 ha! Everybody, let's have some fun.
I've been working all week. All I want to do is get in a little bit of old school Nintendo.
What just happened? I feel kind of dead? Or do I?
You are.
I don't know if I feel dead or not.
Down here. You're dead.
Okay, then where am I?
A plane crashed into your house, and I captured your soul. I've heard you wanted to play some old school Nintendo. I have arranged for that.
I don't entirely understand.
Look, all you need to know is that you're dead, and you're going to play some Nintendo for my amusement. I am the Nindevil.
The Nindevil?
Yes, that's what I said.
How did you get that name?
Come on, I'm a devil, and I like Nintendo.
I get that, but what if you were a devil and you liked Nine Inch Nails?
I don't know. Maybe I would have the same name.
Well, you have NIN on your head, so it looks like you're more into Nine Inch Nails than Nintendo.
Dang it.
You feel kind of silly? Because this whole thing feels kind of silly. Also, I would really like to know why I'm even here.
Look, you're dead. Stop that. Get rid of the cat. Look, you're dead. And if it wasn't for me, you'd be dead forever. I saved your soul so that you can make an internet web series for me. For my entertainment. And you're gonna make it for me.
Oh, come on! There's already like a million of those. Can't I just be dead instead?
There aren't that many.
Angry Video Game Nerd, Pat the NES Punk, LJN Defender, Gaming Historian, Happy Video Game Nerd.
He doesn't even go by that anymore.
Innocent Until Proven Guilty, Boundary Break.
Okay, I get it. But I've seen them all.
You've seen them all. Do you have nothing better to do?
No, I mean, shut up.
I'm done listening to you. How do I get out of here?
You can't. You go where I say you can. I was going to be nice and just have you play a few games, but now I'm angry.
Oh, okay. What are you going to make me do?
For my amusement, you're going to play all the NES games in publication order.
Just like NES Works, formerly known as Good Intentions?
I was going to be nice and let you play the black box games only and then resurrect you. But now, you have to play all of the games in reverse publication order. And when you get to the black box games, maybe, just maybe, I'll resurrect you.
Well, which games?
All Nintendo Entertainment System games.
Even PAL games not released in North America?
Yes.
What about unlicensed games?
Yes.
Are you saying yes to anything I asked just to make this last longer?
Yes.
Fine. I better not mention the Famicom games.
What was that?
Anything to get out of listening to you. What am I going to play first, and where's the console so that I can play it?
Grab that NES top loader there. Your first game is The Lion King, and then Aladdin on NES. Play those games, and I'm going to try to wash this stuff off my face.
Ah! si venya, passa me the controller. Gonna play the NES top loader. Gonna play the NES top loader. Gonna play the NES top loader. Somebody please pass me the controller.
What happened? Well, let's get started. But something seems off about these first two games. I thought the last game released for the NES was... I can't remember. I thought this was on the Super Nintendo. Why would they go back and put this on the NES?
Start and options. Looks like there are different difficulty settings. Hub, Prince, King, and I really like how the B and A buttons can be swapped.
Most of the well-respected platformers have you run with B and jump with A. This lets you run and roll your thumb over the A button to jump. It's just more natural that way. Backwards doesn't really seem to work, so I appreciate that the developers put this option in there.
Here's the first level, the Pride Lands. Looks like basic platforming. One button jumps, the other button roars. You can jump and hang off platforms, and whenever you get to the Simba symbol, you are actually reaching a save point. Good. Simba is the Swahili word for lion. It's a cute name, but what this means is Mufasa and his lion wife, or whatever she's called, had a baby and named the baby Lion. That would be like if I had a kid and named the kid Baby, or Boy, or Human. But in this setting, he's the son of the king, so he would be named Prince Human, and then when he accedes the throne, King Human? And not only that, but Mufasa, Simba's father, that word translates to king, so that means Simba's grandfather named his son King. So his name would have been Prince King for a while, and then later King King? Last thing, and I'll shut up about translations. I doubt the Nindumi really cares anyway. One of the hyena's names is Shenzi, which is also the Swahili word for stupid. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's keep playing the Simba Mufasa. I mean the Lion King. Here's the second stage, the main event. Get it? Main? And they're not talking about the state. Where we're jumping on rhinos, being tossed around by monkeys, and landing on a giraffe's face, and then riding an ostrich! Finish the stage for a weird bonus with Timon and Pumbaa. These also translate to something like proud and dim-witted, something like that. Next up is the Elephant Graveyard, which has a very bleak look to it, and it starts out with you getting attacked by this jerk! After that is the Stampede, which auto-scrolls, just gotta dodge the Stampede. And then we have the Exile, which visually looks similar to the first level, Pride Lands. But then we get to the last stage, Hakuna Matata. Now, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. This game has not been as bad as some of the ones I'm going to have to play, surely. But I can't help but feel like the game is only sort of following the story. Maybe that's not a big deal since it's an NES game, but the levels felt like they were halfway sort of trying to go with the story. And yes, this is the last level. No appearance of Mufasa, or even Scar, other than the game over screen, I think. So I found a 1-up, but I can't get back up. Thanks. These green slope things move you automatically, so you have to plinko your way around to the correct spot. Just gotta experiment. But then we get to the waterfall. This is actually pretty aggravating. You have to ascend the platforms, but you must jump from the side. You can't jump up from underneath the platform. It blocks you. To climb higher, you have to wait for these green log stump things to descend enough for you to jump on them. It's slow. And I know I said the game isn't bad, but the jump timing is not perfect normally, so it does take some time and some practice. Finally, I get past the waterfall, and then there's this gorilla dude, and would you believe this is the final boss? He throws these rock things, you just jump on him a few times, they hit him, and before you know it, the game is beat.
Well, that's one down, but let's not waste any time. Let's get on to the next game, Aladdin for the NES.
Okay, so you've got your standard startup screen. You can start the game or enter a password. And listen to that music. Okay, let's start. You play as Aladdin himself. In the corner are your lives and your health. The apples are a form of ammo, and you can probably guess what happens if you get 100 gems.
So this is another one of those PAL games, not released in the US. Well, I should clarify, this is a watered-down version of the Super Nintendo game, so it is not a whole new world, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad.
Hey, where'd the music go? I guess I'll have to make up my own words and music. I am playing the game. The music's gone and that's silly. For enemies, we got brute-looking dudes, arrow dudes, and, oh, we got snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes? Sorry, Indy. I like the dumb faces these guys make when you hit them with the apples. Ah, you big lug, you. Finish the levels and sometimes you get a bonus area. I hope I get the Genie. Wouldn't that be cool if landing on Genie would make Robin Williams appear next to me and play some of these games? Yeah. So far, it seems like a pretty standard platformer. Catching the ledges can be a bit tricky, but maybe I'm just rusty. NES games are meant to be hard. Keep playing and you get to a boss. Beat him for a password, and now we move on to the next stage, the Cave of Wonders. This is okay so far. What you see is what you get. After the Cave of Wonders, you get to escape from the Cave of Wonders. Ooh. Then this crazy-looking genie level. And before long, you're actually already at the final level. Only 6 levels, and here we are, close to the end. We have these jerks who throw swords, and some fun switches we can pull that mess with the platforms. And then we have Jafar. Just gotta dodge this staff that he throws, jump on him, dodge some lightning that keeps glitching out, jump on these dumb flying pot things, and yeah, beat him. And we didn't even have to fight his final form like in the Super Nintendo.
Looks like you've knocked the first 2 off your list.
Oh, hey. You're back.
Don't seem so excited.
Why did I have to start with these 2 ports of games meant for newer generations? You said you were the Nindevil, not the Super Nindevil.
Ugh. Don't remind me. That guy sucks.
So how many of these games are left?
Oh, over 900 or so.
Good lord! Alright, you Nindork, any chance I can get somebody else to help me out?
Actually, yes. The next game is a 2-player game anyway. You just gotta go pick up the second player.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he just died too. He's in the woods.
Aren't I dead?
Yes. You're able to roam around freely as if you were alive. As long as you don't tell anyone you're dead, you'll be able to semi-exist in the real world.
So what is the next game? And why am I picking somebody up in the woods?
Well, the next game is Wario's Woods.
Hey, dead guy? Hello? Dead guy. Dead guy? You feeling kind of dead? Oh. You feeling kind of dead?
Well, I was taking a dirt nap.
Listen, I know this might sound weird, but
But the devil has sent you to play Nintendo games in reverse publication order, and you were sent out here to the woods because I was out here.
yeah.
That doesn't sound weird at all.
Hey, you look down. At the phone.
Nindum-dum, we're here. How are we supposed to play Nintendo in the woods?
Like this?
Whoa.
So here's how this works. You guys are gonna have a little two-player competition. Whoever wins will be teleported directly back inside. The loser will have to walk. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna be player one. Why? Why do I have to be player two?
My face was in the dirt for a long time.
I guess that's fair. Okay, let's do this.
Don't these guys look kind of like they could use a shave and all sorts of choice words from parenting figures in order to put them on the right track? Maybe after 6 or 7 months of all sorts of therapy and daily work at routines, they'd become fully functional members of society.
Yeah, I guess. Kind of like they belong in a gang, or worse, a clan.
So, do we pick a monster? Is that how this works?
I don't know. Let's do the default.
Is the first round just the easiest?
Yeah, sure. Let's just do 1-1. Wait, are you Toad?
What about you? Are you Radioactive Toad?
I guess we just line the bombs and monsters up by color, and they disappear. I wonder if it works diagonal.
What happened? You cheated.
No, I didn't. And look, I won.
Well, I'm gonna get you back.
Okay.
I got this. I wanna.
Okay, we're even. One more to determine the winner?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Incredible. Dude, I had no idea about this game.
It's getting intense.
This is insane.
Definitely a lot more creatures this time.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Will it ever end?
Whoa, what happened?
Yes! I won!
Oh, right, I won. But you know what? I want more Wario's Woods. I want the one-player mode, and I want to beat it.
So, you let him win, right? Or did you actually try?
He won. Does it really matter?
Now remember, stick to the plan. And enjoy your walk. You know where to go.
So here is the title screen. We got non-radioactive Toad down there blowing up a bunch of wood creatures. That is not nice, Toad. A or B? Let's do A. First level, and we have Toad between two pairs of cheese puff monsters. Birdo is in the top corner up there, and the other corner shows the current round. And the level is over. And Toad is celebrating and gathering falling coins.
Well, that was easy.
You can clear creatures horizontally or vertically. So now I am at level 9, and we have a boss fight. This dude keeps jumping around. To beat him, you have to detonate bombs and creatures with him at one end of the chain. It is a little bit of a challenge because as soon as I am ready to set up a chain, he moves. When he is in the air like this, it's tougher to reach him. Okay, let's end this. Yeah! Toad walks off screen, and Wario is there to scold him. Wario looks kinda tiny.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This game is pretty fun so far. Running around, lining up colors, boss fights. This is a pretty solid action puzzler.
Wario's Woods is perhaps best known for being the last officially licensed NES game released in North America, all the way back in December of 1994. Those last two games which I played were released after this and not in North America at all. While also released on the Super Nintendo, the NES version plays very well as you can see here. It does not feel lacking or diluted. Even though this is an action puzzler game, there is apparently a story. Yep, an actual story. And it takes place after the events of Super Mario World. So it turns out that Wario has cast a spell over the peaceful woods and turned all the creatures into monsters. Each stage takes place in a tree. Literally, we can't see the forest through the trees. I can't believe there is a literal interpretation of that phrase now. We have Birdo as well, just chilling in the corner, and every so often, Wario shows up to be a jerk. When he shows up, he drops more monsters, and if you don't clear enough stuff fast enough, the ceiling starts to cave in. It goes back and forth between Wario and Birdo until you clear the stage or lose. And losing is not hard to do. If the screen gets filled up, you're done. But when you clear the stage, Toad sometimes is treated to a shower of coins. Also, every level ending in the number 9 has a boss so far, and after each boss is defeated, you get sort of a cutscene with Wario basically warning Toad to stop it or else.
It's actually a very, very fun game. I never played this one as a kid, but I'm having an excellent time. I'm now at level 50, and if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go ahead and my way through to 99. This is it. Final level, final boss.
Wario, you are going down. I'm taking you down. I'm done. I'm done listening to you. I'm done clearing your woods. I'm done hollowing out your trees. I'm not free labor. I'm gonna beat you. I'm so getting ready to beat you.
Yeah, it's beat. I beat it. I did it. I beat the game. It's fun. I had a good time. Yeah, yes, yeah, it's done. I did it. Things have gotten serious. My second player is missing. After I beat him at Wario's Woods, in Wario's Woods, he never made it back. It turns out the Nindoofus is in some Gargamel fan club or something, and he upset a bunch of Smurfs, and now my second player has been playing it. The Nindevil received a package from the Smurfs, and he made the mistake of opening the package and opening something inside the box. Something he should not have touched. And now that he's touched it, he's been cursed with the Smurfs music to listen to it forever, over and over, unless I can break the spell. This spell. This spell. As soon as I saw this thing, I knew what it was, and I think I know what's going on. The Smurfs kidnap my second player, they send this cursed thing to the Nindevil, he touches it and get cursed with Smurfs music forever, and now there's only so much time. I don't mind the Nindevil suffering, but I need him to resurrect me. You recognize this thing too, don't you? I believe I know how to lift the curse. We need to beat Beauty and the Beast on NES.
So this is another PAL game. Never made it to North America. The backstory is a prince refuses shelter to some lady and she turns him into a beast. Sure, okay. Based on the title screen, this is supposed to be a tie-in with the movie, which premiered at the New York Film Festival in 1991, but this game was not released until 1994. You play as the Beast. One button jumps, the other button does one heck of an uppercut. We have rats and bats, and can climb on the walls, and this candle dude illuminates the way. Actually kind of a neat idea. The song in this next area is nuts.
Ba-da-bam bam ba-da-bam bam ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bam bam ba-da-bam bam ba-da-bam bam ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bam.
There is a bit of a where do I go vibe. I mean, if this is the Beast's castle or mansion or manor or whatever, what is the point of it being so difficult to navigate? Going to the bathroom should not require us to jump over gaps and climb walls. You may have seen that rose there at the bottom. If we can beat this game, we can hopefully get rid of the curse. There's a sort of boss where you shoot liquid at a statue using the teacup lady? What?
Yeah, shoot liquid at a solid enemy. It works. Just ask Dorothy.
We make it outside the castle and fall down from a broken ice bridge. Great. Just like the Simba Mufasa, I can't get back up. Thanks. But now we are in a cave with whiteout shooters. I mean, in case you were wondering where whiteout is made, it's actually from this one specific cave. And, the bats. I swear I can't get these bats. Indy asks why'd it have to be snakes, but for me it's why'd it have to be bats. Back outside the cave and it's a waterfall. I mean, luckily the water doesn't push you, so it's really just a giant distraction. But this is an area where you have to ascend. Look at this jump! The purple logs disintegrate. Eventually, I make this jump and just keep ascending the waterfall. After the waterfall, we have to make these precarious jumps onto these little ice platforms before we can uppercut a lion a bunch, but... oh, where did it go? Oh, punch! 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 Yeah, there we go!
Hey, it's me, the Beast.
So, a bunch of birds land on you, and then Little Red Riding Hood, I guess, throws snowballs? What am I supposed to do? So it turns out you have to actually catch the snowballs, and if you miss 3, that's the end of your life. Could you imagine if you were outside playing with friends and you were having a snowball fight, and if you didn't catch just 3 snowballs, you're just dead? I mean, your friends would just be kicking your body like, hey, you feeling kind of dead? So anyway, you have to be standing still in one of 2 places to catch a short-range or a long-range snowball. It isn't too tough, but you gotta find the sweet spot. Then, she runs off a short distance and you repeat the same thing. If you can remember the pattern, then you're all set, but she runs off 3 times, and each time she throws more and more of these snowballs and throws them faster. And like I said, miss 3, you go back to the first section. See, now I know why the birds were landing on the beast's shoulders. They were laughing at his misery and whispering cruel comments into his ears. Also, look at the background. It's the castle, yeah! I mean, everything we just went through, and there's the castle right there. I mean, the building planners probably should have figured this entire route out a little bit differently. I mean, what does this have to do with the story again? I don't know. Let's just keep going. Suddenly, we're back inside, and this time it's a library, and the library is a mess. Since we were already outside, I'm guessing this is a public library, but you probably don't want to get your books here. Some of these books are walking around, falling and flying, and if you aren't paying attention, you're just going to walk right through the floor. Eventually, we make it to the top floor, and the green cousin of that devil from Ghosts and Goblins starts attacking us. He likes to hang out in just the right spot to be so aggravating. We manage to defeat each other at the same time. Ugh. Try again, and we get past him. There's another mosaic, and, you know, who commissioned these mosaics? They are quite prophetic.
What, you've never seen mosaic windows that predict the future before? According to this game, that's normal. Just don't look at them too long, because then the future might change, and someone's gonna have to come along and smash them, and then just make new ones.
We're back in a castle or a building or something, and there's lightning all over the place, but it's the same thing. Just climb up. But there's this jump, and I just can't make it. My rose is super withered. I wasn't even sure where to go, so I just took this leap of faith, but I just can't seem to make it. After what feels like 100 tries, I eventually do make it. Next, I have to run down this long hall and dodge these guys who look like they're trying to touch trumpets up against the beast's butt. I mean, who are they? I mean, what's their problem? But then it's Gaston. He's shooting arrows at us, but if you punch him, he stands still for a minute, and it gives the beast time to kind of just jump up. I swear this building must have like 50 floors. Eventually, we make it to the top, and then we just punch Gaston off the building, and, I mean, that's the end boss. Congratulations? You have found true love and won the heart of Belle? By punching a guy off a 50-floor building? And I mean, look at the end scene. She's in the background. The Beast Prince guy, he's more excited to see the rehumanized clock, candle, and teapot people. Bella's just in the background like, hey, I'm here too. Programmed by Dave Thomas? Dave Thomas? The founder of Wendy's programmed this thing? I mean, that just made it awesome.
Overall, it's not awful. It's not great or even good, it's just okay. But with this one beat, the curse should be lifted.
Leave me alone. This music is still playing.
But I beat the game. It shouldn't be playing anymore, and I thought I would get the second player back.
You know he has a name, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, what is it then?
Well, I don't know. What's mine?
Good question, actually.
Do we even have time for this right now? Just tell me what I need to do to lift the curse.
The Smurfs must still have him. All you have to do is beat the Smurfs on NES. And then, the Beauty and the Beast was just a cover. You can beat the Smurfs. Guy I know whose name is. Thing. Words.
I just made it through a mediocre game, and now I have to go through another one. Let's Smurf it up.
So first you have to pick a language using one of these flags. Post a comment if you know which 4 countries these are. Then we have the title screen. Music on. I mean, I guess this would have been the easiest way to turn that music off, actually, but let's start. And you are immediately being attacked. The developers aren't messing around. They want to keep you on your toes. Time is in the upper corner, 3 hearts indicating your health. Hey, at least it's not one-hit deaths, and the music is pretty good, too. So you're just kind of jumping around, dodging acorns, but the programmers set this up so that you can't just run through the level. You'll get hit by acorns if you try, so just take your time, do it right. You play as whichever Smurf guy this is, and I think we're trying to save some kidnapped Smurfs or something. I don't know, Gargamel's just up to his usual antics.
So, what even are Smurfs?
The Smurfs are a group of small, blue, human-like creatures that live in the forest. They started out in Belgian comic strips in the 1950s and eventually grew into their own TV series, video games, toys, and a bunch of other merchandising. They've even had a presence in certain theme parks. There's an entire universe of Smurfs lore out there. Smurfs have been appearing in video games for over 30 years, from ColecoVision to the Nintendo Wii. One of the more peculiar and sometimes irritating aspects of the Smurfs as a whole is their use of the word Smurf in place of many adjectives or verbs. I won't even try to give examples. It's smurfing weird and I'll just get smurfed off. Alright, switching up the game style. This could be a good or a bad thing. This next stage has us moving down a river on a water log. Maybe it's a giant Tootsie Roll or a normal-sized Tootsie Roll. It controls surprisingly well. I do gotta say, I'm not thrilled that the health didn't refill, but that's okay, I guess. And now, a swamp level, and I am really digging the music. So we're back to platforming, and it's getting a bit trickier. This, weird to say, kind of reminds me a bit of Donkey Kong Country. It's easy to die. I accidentally discovered the bonus area climbing up this thing that looks like a flycatcher, and it's cool how you can jump on a spider. Eventually we make it to a boss fight with this cute kitty, and it kills me. Once we manage to beat the kitty, we take a key and free Brainy Smurf. I guess he wasn't too smart after all. The key was barely outside the cage. He could have probably figured out a way to get the key with his hat and his pants, but then he would have been naked, I guess, and, well, but the cat was already naked, so who cares? Next, we have more platforming inside what looks like a straw made of leaves and dripping water before we're flying on a bird. Once again, changing up the gameplay. I really am enjoying this. Just be sure to dodge the cute little lightning bolts that drop from the clouds, and again, the music. It's great.
You know, if the curse is to listen to Smurfs music forever, that actually doesn't seem so bad if all of these songs would play.
Now we have some snowy mountains with another fantastic song. I think it's cool how the birds slowly descend while you're standing on them, and you have to get creative to get through some of these areas. Here I have to pick up this bouncing spring thing to make it onto a bird, and then to get across a gap. There's a really difficult jump with this bouncer. It is fair, and it is a fun challenge. Wow, a minecart level, really reminding me some more of Donkey Kong Country. You can slow the speed and make jumps, and I mean, this is great. The next boss, if we can call it that, is a cute dragon. Just pick up birthday presents and throw them at him. There's a Smurf in a cage up there in the corner.
Did you know that a fire-breathing dragon's weakness is receiving gifts? I bet you a dragon's worst day is its birthday.
Once we subdue the dragon, we discover the gifts have turned into a key. Then you jump on the sad dragon's head to reach and free... Jokey Smurf? Really? I'm not the most well-versed Smurf guy, but come on, Jokey? All I'm saying is if I know someone named Jokey and they get captured, I might just have to leave them captured. Then we get a sled stage, which reminds me of the minecart stage from earlier. We're just outside and on a sled. I don't recall Donkey Kong Country doing a sledding level, do you? After getting through the sled level, I opened a bonus area where you float around in a bubble. It's different. I know I've said this a couple times already, but I like the change in gameplay style. Close to the end of the game, I think, so we get to trespass into Gargamel's house. I know we shouldn't be committing crimes, but we're supposed to be saving Smurf-napped Smurfs. Gargamel's house sure has a lot of desks and books with upside-down pentagrams. He's evil. I found a giant cauldron that you can't touch or it hurts you, so just grab a bouncy spring and bounce on over. Here we go. Just like that last game, it all has to end on the roof, huh? So we're fighting Gargamel. I'm not really sure exactly what to do, but there's this bird and it's dropping acorns. Gargamel's advancing on us, but if you stand in the right spot, the bird drops an acorn and you can launch it at Gargamel. It pushes him back some, but you gotta do 5 in a row perfectly. And now that he's beat, we get to see... Smurfette. For a moment, I thought we might see the 2-player guy all 8-bit style. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? But why is she outside? If she's free, she could have just left.
Wow. The Smurfs on NES far exceeded my expectations. Way more than any of the other games we've played so far. Wario's Woods is still a better game, but the Smurfs on NES had this huge variety of gameplay mechanics and types, and the music was really good. Music? The music! The second player guy! He should be free! Where are you? I promised to ask you your name. Did you hear that? It sounds like a doorbell. I didn't even know I had a door. Second player guy, it's you. Are you okay? I have so many questions.
Yeah, I do too. But anyway, I gotta tell you, I did a trick on the Nindevil.
What do you mean?
I hired some Smurfs to place a curse on a rose, so that way the Nindeviled would hear only Smurf music. You see, the only way to lift this curse is if someone were to do something insane, like play through Beauty and the Beast on NES and the Smurfs on NES in the same day. But who could ever do something like that? Who?
Dad, look at this.
And then just make new ones.
What is this?
It's the Nindevil's YouTube channel.
What is he trying to do? Oh, I see. Yeah, he thinks he's better than Sinestful? That will never happen! Never!
At least he's got better quality videos than you.
No, he doesn't!
Yeah, he does.
Meh.
Hey everyone, it's time to watch.
Hey, how are you doing that?
Doing what?
You're speaking without moving your mouth. How are you doing that? What the heck? What's going on?
Your mouth's not moving.
Yours either?
Yours either.
Mine too?
How is this possible?
This must have something to do with the Nindingleberry.
La 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 la.
Nindevil guy.
La 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 la.
Hey, Nindevil guy.
La la.
Look at us, please.
Oh, hey guys. What's going on?
I can't move my mouth and I feel like a still image. Can you please explain this?
Oh, that's weird. It feels like you guys are talking, but I can't really tell. Your mouths aren't moving, so I guess I'll go back to what I was doing. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yo! Batty brains! Enough with the song! Tell us what's going on.
Oh, are you guys not having a good day?
Drop the act, man. Tell us what's happening. Surely you are up to this. We can't move our mouths. I feel like I'm operating at 1 frame per minute, but somehow we are able to talk and hear each other?
Yeah, what gives?
This is what you get. I know about the Smurfs. I know who did all of this.
That wasn't me. That was him.
Whoa. Hey, man, come on. I was trying to help us.
Well, the joke's on you guys. I actually like that song.
Can't you just undo whatever it is that you're doing to us?
Yeah, how are we gonna eat? We are going to starve to death, double death. Is it possible to die again?
The whole point is that if you want to act like dummies, I'll treat you like dummies. Crash test dummies. Unmovable mouths. Soulless eyes. I've doomed you both to the same existence. Living beings with unmovable mouths. Unless, of course...
Uh-oh, what is it? A fiddle competition?
No. Fine. If you really want to be able to move your mouths and eat and smile again, then all that's required is to beat the incredible crash test dummies on NES.
Okay, I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So you play as some guy on a wheel? I mean, I'm sure he has a real name, but I'm gonna go ahead and call him Tom Wheelman. He jumps, he rolls, he shoots condensed farts out. The controls are slippery, but it's manageable. What's with this flying back nonsense?
That's definitely something LJN would do.
We get through this first stage relatively okay, and this cutscene transpires before we end up in, oh great, a sewer level, and we no longer get to play as Tom Wheelman. Now we're a dude who has actual feet. Let's call him Feety McFootface. Anyway, what's to say? More platforming, slime, bugs, typical sewer stuff.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any Ninja Turtles or evil clowns down here.
What about an evil clown turtle?
That would be Dana Carvey, and I'm pretty sure he moved out of the sewers.
This area down here reminds me of the first level from Sonic Spinball. I fight this robot dude using oil. Yeah, you can switch weapons. I wish I would have known that, but it makes the game a little bit better, actually. You beat the tire-throwing robot jerk, get a key, then free the dog before getting smashed by 10 tons. And you gotta love these puns in the cutscenes.
I do. I just love them.
Back is Tom Wheelman, and we are in a circus shooting half-elephants. That's a technical term for half of an elephant, since that's what it looks like. You want to make any kind of Dumbo reference?
Oh, I know the answer to that one. It's us for playing this game. Ha ha! That's right. Yes, indeed.
Still in Circus Land, and it switches back to Feet Walker Face, and it's clear to me now that the game is going to have you switch back and forth every level between the wheel guy and the non-wheel guy. Some might say the variety in the switch-up is good, especially for LJN, but the wheel guy has very slippery controls. As soon as you get used to them, you switch back to the non-wheel guy, and his controls are actually pretty solid. One other thing I haven't mentioned yet, and maybe this is where LJN decided to make it really known that this is one of their titles, is the controls when you lose your head. Sometimes when your dummy gets damaged, he loses his head. Literally. It's pretty funny to see it, but unless you're playing, you don't realize that left and right are switched when this happens. I feel like I gotta move very gingerly, which is not easy to do when punch gloves are coming at me from every direction. You can fix this by finding one of the floating dummy heads, but by the time you find it, you are used to the switched controls already. Wheel versus non-wheel, head on your shoulders versus none. It's 4 different types of controls in one game. I guess we know who the real dummy is.
It's us.
Oh yeah. So what are the Incredible Crash Dummies, and how did they end up in a video game? Well, back in the 1980s, a bunch of public service announcements began to make their way into living rooms via the television screen we all love so much. These PSAs featured dummies in simulated car crashes to demonstrate the risks of traveling without the use of a seatbelt. By the time the 90s rolled around, action figures, and I can't believe we're calling them that, were starting to be manufactured. They had names like Vince, Larry, Daryl, Spare Tire, Bumper, Pit Stop. Somewhere along the way, there was some debacle about airing some of the PSAs, and some of the figures were renamed. I don't know, who cares? I always thought they were kind of lame. Some mannequin wants me to buckle up. Show some graphic car crashes instead. That'll teach kids to click it or ticket. An animated television series aired, and comic books were made too. And of course, there had to be a video game. LJN published this wonderful creation on the NES, SNES, Genesis, and Amiga. Electronic Gaming Monthly awarded this game with Strangest License of 1992. In the game, Junkbot has captured Spare Tire and Daryl, and we are trying to get them back.
Okay, that's fine. And when that happens, we don't have to be still images anymore?
On this section called the docks, there are birds that drop bombs. That is some serious bird training capabilities right there. The ability to train birds to pick up, carry, target an enemy, and drop a bomb.
Sounds delicious.
Forget drones delivering packages, let's train seagulls instead. Eventually we can actually train birds to deliver babies. The stork will no longer be fictitious.
Wait, stork isn't real?
Here we have another boss fight where you shoot the guy, hop across, and free this dummy named Daryl. Daryl? What kind of name is Daryl? Not nearly as cool as a name like Tom Wheelman or Feet Walker Texas Ranger. Daryl better have a cool last name. Something like, I don't know, Streep? Daryl Streep? Let's go with that. Tom Wheelman is back in a car wrecking stage. We have some new enemies. That's cool. I can appreciate those little touches. Later there's a wrecking ball. There's nobody riding on top of it, fortunately.
That breaks my achy breaky.
Shut up. Later there are even more wrecking balls. Still nobody riding on them.
Whoa, whoa.
Still trying to save some other missing dummy. The puns are just awful. Next stage, the junkyard. I wonder if we will find a pile of LJN or Micronix games here. I do enjoy these crazy drops, although I can never remember which power-up does what. Like right here I am flashing, so I assume I am invincible, but nope. Green acid bath for me.
Another big drop! Crap.
The Junkman? I think this might be the final boss. And of course, I'm still Tom Wheelman.
Wonderful!
So there are ovens heating up ballistic popcorn or something. And then over here, it's the junk dude, but I really don't know what to do. I'm shooting him, and I'm dead?
Wonderful.
I don't really know how to beat him.
Crap.
After some trial and error, I find out you can bounce off this one specific tire to get up higher, and then you can shoot this thing that looks like it's going to raise the 10-ton weight. Just gotta find a sweet spot to dodge these tires. Ugh, come on.
It would be better if he died instead of you.
Here we go again. Hop up on the tire, grab the oil, jump over to what I hope is the sweet spot, and now I just shoot this button thing some more and duck to dodge the tires. Oh yeah, this is a really awesome boss.
The game seems like it can barely keep up with everything happening. The Junkman really is not a good name for this guy. With all these tires, he should go by the Tire King, but then Tire Kingdom probably would not like that.
I don't think they want to be associated with this game or dummies who crash. Oh great, I ran out of oil, but a new can dropped. I have a few hits left, so I make a run for it, get back to the sweet spot, and shoot! And he's crushed by the 10-ton thing, and after just a few more shots, oh yeah, good.
His own fault for standing up. Wasn't using his brain that he doesn't have.
And now for the end scene. Something about freeing this guy who is tied to a launcher, and then they both crash through one of the flood doors on High Charity from Halo 3. Even the flood wouldn't touch these guys. They aren't sentient beings.
Hey!
So this is the first LJN game I've had the pleasure of playing. AVGN reviewed this one, but I don't think the LJN Defender has defended it yet. So I'll just say that it's okay. Hey, I'll even say it's not the worst game I've played so far, and for only being 4 episodes in, I guess that's saying something.
Did you, notice that your, mouth is moving again?
Hey!
Oh, finally, but not you. Why not?
Probably because you're the one that beat the game, whereas I'm the one who tried to mess with the Nindevil.
Well, what now?
Ha 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 ha! I don't know.
How about we just shut up for a while?
I can do that.
Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here with a special announcement. Subscribe to Hack the Movies and my new podcast, Castzilla versus the Pod Monster. I'm sure a link will be here for where you can get that. It's on most platforms. Let's see, today I got this letter from the Nindevil and apparently I'm supposed to read it, so here we go. Ahem. Dear Mr. The Movies, I am the Nindevil. I understand you have a copy of The Flintstones, Surprise at Dinosaur Peak for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Would you please send it to me? I need it for something totally not evil or nefarious at all, and anybody involved is totally acting according to their own free will. If you're unable to meet this request, I will have no choice but to tell the blueberry cobbler what you did with the ham sandwich. Sincerely, the Nindevil. Okay, so yes, I do have a copy of the Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. But no, I'm not going to give it to you, Mr. Nindevil. I don't respond well to threats. And for the record, the blueberry cobbler and I are doing just fine. Now, if you don't mind, I have a purely business meeting with a tuna salad with emotional problems. Goodbye.
Surprise! 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 Oh man, I'm so excited, I can't wait, I can... So here's the deal. The game that we're about to play is one that I have been wanting to play for a while. It's a little rare and it can be kind of expensive sometimes. Maybe you've heard of it. Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be very good, but it'll be so cool to just play.
Hey!
Oh, here we go with this guy again.
So, yeah, no surprise at Dinosaur Peak today.
What? Why?
That's too expensive. I can't afford it right now.
You're a devil, and not just any devil, the Nindeviled. Why would money matter to you? Can't you just make the game like appear? Oof.
This isn't I Dream of Jeannie. I can't just make it appear out of thin air. That would be stealing. And that would be wrong.
Wrong? Again, you're a devil. Why would you care about right or wrong?
Hey, I might be a devil, but I still have my scruples.
You know, man, I was really looking forward to playing this game, and not just because it's rare, but I mean, think about it. It's the Flintstones. You get to go back in time to the Stone Age, you get involved in jungle platforming hijinks.
Well, then I have something just as good. You want to go back in time? You want to go into the jungle? The next two games are Mario's Time Machine and The Jungle Book. Have fun!
Let's get this over with.
The graphics are very Super Mario World-esque. It is a trip to see that on the NES. And the story here is that Bowser has opened a museum but stolen many items from the past. Yoshi, for some idiotic reason, rushes into the museum, and Bowser is now holding him captive. In order to get Yoshi back, we need to return the stolen items to their proper time.
But that's what a museum is. A place with a bunch of stuff from the past on display. Some would argue that stuff is stolen. I guess the difference here is Bowser went back in time to take this stuff. But wouldn't that alter the present day if he did that? We better not get into this time travel stuff.
And who cares if Yoshi is held captive? There are tons of Yoshis all over the place in other Mario games. So, spoiler alert, this is supposed to be an educational game. You go through these red Bowser doors where you get treated as something like the original Mario Bros. You beat the turtles and they drop an apple. I get the apple, then jump into this machine that I assume is a time machine. At the top it shows the time destination. Okay. If it's an apple, I'm going to assume it has something to do with Newton, and I'm pretty sure he's somewhere in the 1600s, so let's choose 1687. So then we get to something that actually looks like a level. Hit these yellow interaction blocks and they treat you to some information. There's a little bit of investigative platforming, and then I make it over to this tree. I select the apple, but it says I'm in the wrong place, and now I'm stuck down here.
Something seems wrong here. Let me just reset the game.
I pick a different door this time, and the item is a torch. Kinda crazy that the Koopa had a lit torch in its pocket, or shell. I'm also assuming this is going to be related to the Olympics, and they probably want me to assume it's the super old Olympics, so let's go ahead and pick 776 BC. Sure enough, this looks like ancient Greece. Pick the torch and press start, and Mario appears in the newspaper, which hasn't been invented yet. I hope this doesn't alter the course of time negatively. Next, I get a light bulb. When I hop back in the time machine, I see 776 BC is still an option. That means we gotta keep track of where we've gone. Or when we've gone. I'm going to assume light bulb is referring to Edison, and he was sometime in the late 1800s. 1860s feels a bit early to me, so let's pick the next one up. Just walk through some guy's house over to a bouncy couch, and now Mario is in the paper for returning the light bulb. Next, I'm going to retry the apple. I decide I'm not happy with the other time choices, so I get back to this tree, and this time I try it on top of the tree, and it works.
Come on! Why does it matter if I was on the tree or below it? It's not like Newton was on the tree when the apple hit him in the head. Unless Mario had to be there to hit him in the head with the apple in the first place. What the heck? Dang it, Newton!
Oh man, next is a sledgehammer.
Stop. I was planning on making a joke or a bit right here about Peter Gabriel and a sledgehammer, but the irate gamer already beat me to that. So we're gonna just go to the next section.
Next is an egg. Okay, so whenever omelets or chickens were invented. That seems really old, so let's do 80 million BC. I know, it's a dinosaur egg, so let's just drop it in this cave here and move on. Next is Abe Lincoln's hat, which we drop off in Gettysburg, and then a steering wheel. Cars were probably from the late 1800s at the earliest, but there's nothing else to choose that really would make sense, so I guess it's really a steering wheel for a ship. Magellan was around the turn of the century, so we'll try 1502. And it works. Cool. And so, it goes on. I return a quill pen to Shakespeare, the American flag to the moon, take a throne back to Egypt, and give the Wright brothers their propeller.
That's very noble of Mario to do, seeing as how the Mario brothers and the Wright brothers are rap battle enemies.
The Mario's Time Machine was originally developed and published for MS-DOS and Super Nintendo. A different company came along and developed the same game for the NES, while the original company went ahead and published it for them. That's kind of weird, and for whatever reason, someone decided, hey, this thing needs to show up on the NES, so it was released in 1994. It should be noted, though, that the NES version is pretty different from the MS-DOS and SNES versions. There's nothing else to say, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Time for the end of the game. First, you have a pop quiz. To know the answers, you need to have been checking those yellow information boxes throughout the levels. Newton invented calculus. Okay. 12 seconds for the first flight. Subdue barbarians, whatever. Then we go through the door, and I'm really digging the music here. Get to Bowser, jump on his head, dodge his spin attack, jump a few more times, get the key, and free Yoshi. The game is beat, alright.
Is it a great action platformer? No, of course not. But that's not what the developers were trying to do here. They wanted to make an educational game with just a little bit of platforming to keep it lively. For what it is, I suppose Mario's Time Machine is a fine game. Had I been playing this as a kid, and hitting boxes and just guessing time frames, well, yeah, I guess that could get pretty boring. But if there's a kid who wants to hit those boxes and read the information and figure it out, well, I suppose that would be rewarding in a way different from the traditional Mario game, where you have to use your brains more than your brawn. Or thumbs, I guess. So if any of you out there have a kid and you can get a copy of this game, maybe give it a try. You can learn something and teach something at the same time. What can I say? This game is beat, but it's a twofer. Jungle Book, let's go.
You play as Mowgli. He jumps, he moves, and he can shoot bananas. I hope this jungle canopy is thick because he's not supposed to get wet, eat after midnight, or have direct sunlight. Oh, wait a minute, I'm thinking of Mogwai. Never mind.
I'm a Mogwai. You're not a Mogwai.
At the bottom of the screen, it shows the number 10 next to a gem symbol. We're gonna get to that in a second. There is a heart meter which drains when you take damage, so I have to say, I like that we aren't going for the whole one-hit deaths thing here. There's also a timer in the corner. My first impression is that this is just a standard platformer. Run to the right, take out enemies, and get to the end. Along the way, there are these purple flowers which act as checkpoints. We can climb higher using vines or launch ourselves up. The hanging vines can be used to swing from one to the next, which seems appropriate since we are in the jungle after all. But, okay, back to the gems. I made it all the way to the end of the level and nothing happened. It turns out you have to collect enough gems to get the gem counter down to 0, so the game focuses on exploration in addition to platforming. Be sure to scour every part of the level. I found exactly 10 gems in this first level, which leads me to assume there will not be extra gems just chilling around. Gotta find them all. Let's keep going. Next stage is up here in a network of trees and tree branches. It's more the same, just find the gems. I like how when you go into a tree, it teleports you around. It's pretty cool technology for a jungle. At the end of the stage is a boss fight with the LSD snake. Just throw some stuff at him, dodge his projectiles, jump on his head, and he's done. As I found a shovel somewhere in the level, I get to dig down into this bonus area, and this cavern is pretty large.
I'm surprised it hasn't turned into a giant sinkhole.
The next level has us jumping on elephants down here at the bottom. That's a cool addition, but otherwise it's the same as before. We're just looking for all the gems. But this time it requires 15. Ugh. In between level scenes says we are going to meet Baloo in a van down by the river. Did you know Baloo is the Hindi word for bear?
How's that for a throwback? All the way to episode 1.
The next level is on a river. No van and no Chris Farley though, but I swear, I tried this level a few times before I realized that one of the gems was hidden way over here. I mean, come on. Gosh, why? Ugh. We make it over to Hindi Bear and I boomerang him with the bear necessities until he's decided that he's just had enough. Why he is a boss, I couldn't tell you. I thought he was Mowgli's friend. Well, I guess he's definitely our friend. He's letting us ride his body down the river after all. Before we get too much farther, I should probably comment on some of the important stuff regarding controls and gameplay. The controls for the game are finicky. Not awful, but they do require some mastery. When jumping, you cannot be touching the D-pad if you are trying to jump higher. If you need to catch a high, out-of-reach vine, you have to jump and then touch the D-pad. If not, you might end up just plunging down toward the land of lost lives. Finding these gems is truly a matter of exploration and experimentation, and the irksome nature of this escapade is exacerbated by the timer reaching triple SpaghettiOs. But the game is forgiving in that many extra lives, health refills in the form of grapes, and useful ammo are scattered about the levels and are easy to collect while looking for gems. But if there's one thing that just ruins the game, it's the speed. I mean, it feels so slow. Most of the footage you have seen so far has actually been sped up. So I guess this would be a good time to go ahead and do a history lesson. When people hear The Jungle Book, they usually think of the 1967 animated film, and of course there's a live-action CGI film from 2016, because reimagining is what we do now. I haven't seen the newer one, so I shouldn't pass judgment, but the appropriate name really should be The Jungle Movie. These films are adaptations of Rudyard Kipling's 1894 collection of stories known as The Jungle Book. Kipling spent part of his childhood in India, which may explain the use of Hindi words to name corresponding animals and characters in the setting of an Indian jungle. The stories were meant to teach moral lessons using anthropomorphized animals, and there is some evidence to suggest Kipling actually wrote the stories for his daughter.
The most bizarre aspect of this is the idea that 70 years later, Kipling's work was adapted into an animated film, a medium that didn't even exist at the time that he wrote those stories. Just think about that. Imagine if you at home wrote a story for one of your family members, and then in the year 2095, it was adapted into a brain implant that was shot into somebody's head through their nose.
Level 7 is really just more and more of the same, where you're running around this place because Mowgli was kidnapped by monkeys. And then after that is the endurance test of your ability to have mastered the jumping controls. It's a series of platforms that hairpin their way higher and higher. Every platform drops out from below you. If you have not figured out how to jump without touching the D-pad, then this part is complete misery. At least there is only one gem required in this level, and I'm going to guess it's at the top right before a boss fight. Eventually I enter a trance-like state and get through these platforms, and have a boss battle with King Louie where I boomerang him into unconsciousness. After that gauntlet of platforming insanity, I have to say I'm happy to have something other than jumping off platforms, but I am far from excited to still be playing this game.
And it's at this point that I realize I'm just not having fun anymore. I didn't love this game to start with, but I was initially satisfied with making progress. Wario's Woods was fantastic. The Smurfs pleasantly surprised me. Even Crash Test Dummies had something to offer. But what I really want to point out is we're on episode 5, and we've had 8 games make an appearance on this show. And 4 of them were tie-ins with the Big B. You know, the mouse. And not a single one of them was really any good. The Super Nintendo versions were fine, or even great, but it is what it is. Let's keep going, the end is near.
See? Even the game says so. Level 9 looks very similar to the beginning of the game, just at night. And with bats. But after this, we are informed that Shaka Khan is ahead.
Shaka Khan? Shaka Khan?
The only problem is the entire place is apparently on fire. Especially this area with Shere Khan. I managed to beat the tiger jerk, but I landed in the fire at the same time, so it didn't count. I guess that's fair. Final boss and all. After a few more attempts, I perfect my technique and he is beat. And after all this, we see Mowgli jump across a giant gap using hanging vines. This part is automated, and I'm glad I don't have to do it, because I wouldn't want to find out how far back it would take me if I fell right here from Shere Khan anticipation to finally be done. So some girl was singing a song, and then Mowgli likes it so much he decides to follow her into the village. He's going to be surprised when he meets the village people. I'm sure they are going to love hearing about how he gathered gems and fought off other jungle creatures to reach them. They're more likely to ask him where he found the shrooms.
Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. While that was no surprise at Dinosaur Peak, there was definitely a surprise, and we got to do some jungle-like platforming. Maybe one day we'll get the real game, but I'll tell you a secret about the next episode. A little hint, just don't tell the Nindevil. The next episode is sure to rock, man.
I'm talking about Mega Man. Did you get the hint? Mega Man. Come on. Mega Man. Did you get the hint? Mega Man. Mega Man. You know, Mega Man. That blue guy. He's next. Okay. Okay.
Dad, why are you doing the blueberry cobbler?
Don't tell the ham sandwich.
Okay, so I gave a hint last week about today's episode, and I'm sure you figured it out by now, right? Well, in case you didn't, there it is. Mega Man, or as he was originally known in Japan, Rockman. The idea of a Mega Man Metroid crossover seems pretty cool. Maybe we'll get that one day. But for today, we're doing Mega Man 6 on NES, the very last one that was released.
Hey! Hey!
Oh gosh, do you hear that? What is it this time?
Listen. I was thinking...
You're not very good at that.
The thing is, we're doing these games in reverse order. Well, I say we, but you are doing them. But it's just kind of weird to do the Mega Man series in reverse order.
Your mom is gonna do...
So here's what I want. Anytime a sequel shows up, I want you to skip it till we get to the original game.
What? Won't this make it kind of confusing as we get further down the list?
It shouldn't. But I have a game that'll help you with your number skills.
Okay, sure. Which one is that?
It's a number adventure starring a famous mouse.
Oh, come on. Haven't I played enough games from franchises based on the Big D already?
Just shut up and play the game.
No. You can't just make me play the game.
I guess we are actually doing this. So the story is Petey has stolen number molds, and Sheriff Donald is really mad about that. Since Don is short for Donald, and he is really mad, I wanted to make a Mad Men Don Draper reference. The pieces are all here, but I can't put it together, so here's a picture of John Hamm. Good old Mouseboy says he will get the numbers back. He looks really weird in a red shirt. Draw from that whatever conclusions you want.
He's wearing a red shirt, so what?
The title screen says plural, adventures in Numberland. However, the box says singular, adventure in Numberland. And if you look at the startup screen, it just says, well, yeah. Considering this is supposed to be an educational game, Beam Software and High Tech are not off to a great start. We're given a choice of normal, advanced, and super advanced. Being that I do not want to go through this game 3 times, I am opting for the super advanced setting. I looked into it and found out that the only big difference is the Super Advanced has more platforming elements and the ability to actually lose a life, but the aspect of collecting the numbers doesn't really change. We have an overworld screen with different levels to choose from, but let's start with the Number City. In level 1, we need to find the number 1. We have some obvious platforming elements, and they control pretty well. Mickey can shoot bubblegum, which I do on accident because I'm used to holding that button to run. There are these TV microwave screens counting up numerically, but what we are really looking for is the floating number 1 way over here. And then to exit, we Clark Kent our way into a phone booth and then get sucked down into the earth before solving a math equation. In the next level, I need to find, you guessed it, the number 2. Maybe this is because it is super advanced, but you do need to do some exploration to find the number that you need. It's not as bad as, say, collecting gems, but you do have to explore. If only our mouse friend could collect the other numbers along the way, he would be done by now. Hey, did you know 4 plus 7 equals 11? Next, Draper Duck catches some boxes that can jump on their own. Moving right along, Redshirt Mouseman finds the number 3, then 4, then 5, then, you guessed it, 6, and then we find 7 in a number museum, followed by, what else, number 8. And why did we have to hunt down numbers if there's a museum dedicated to numbers? And for a museum of numbers, they sure have some fancy chandeliers and priceless dinosaur artifacts hanging around. Now that numbers 1 through 8 have been collected, a road to Petey's hideout is magically paved. I wonder if we will have to fight Artie, the strongest man in the world. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Pete and Pete. We get inside and I fall right past that number 9. Oh, you jerk.
Hey, so did you know there's an easy way to figure out if a big number is a multiple of 9? Just take the individual numbers and add them together. If it adds up to 9 or a different multiple of 9, then your original number is a multiple of 9. Like 5,031. 5 plus 0 plus 3 plus 1 equals 9. Therefore, 5,031 is a multiple of 9. I don't know if that was important right now, but there you go.
I work my way up to get the number 9, find my way out of the level before going back in to find the only 2-digit number that appears, number 10. Find the exit and all the numbers start dropping out of the sky for some reason, and then Donnie says, "Thanks, pal," but he still looks pretty angry. Come on, man, I just went and saved all the numbers for you. Also, what about Petey? Does he just get away with stealing the numbers? No closure for him? Whatever. The credits start up to embarrass whichever humans were involved in this, and Sam Palahniuk? I wonder if there's any relation to...
So that's it. I know it was kind of quickish, but they're just numbers. I mean, this is getting kind of old. A little too much disappointment. I need something with some action or mild fantasy violence.
Another game down, huh?
Yeah, but come on, give me something good. First, no Dinosaur Peak, and now no Mega Man 6. And let me guess, you're gonna make me skip Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge, right? Because it's a sequel?
Yes, but I have something pretty good. And it's actually good.
Somehow, I doubt it. If that isn't one of the best 8-bit intros I've ever heard, I mean, maybe even the best. What game is this? Time Diver Avenger? Who or what is Nitra? So a cursory glance through the internet revealed some interesting information. The game's publisher, Nitra, is short for Nitra Semiconductor Company. What?
It turns out that Time Diver Avenger from Nitra is actually Time Diver Eon Man by Taito. Eon Man was fully developed, received a spot in Nintendo Power Volume 45, and has a copyright of 1993, but the game was never released. It isn't clear why Eon Man was never commercially released, but Nitra, whoever they really are, got their hands on Eon Man, updated the title screen, and released the game into the, and I'm quoting the internet here, the Asian game market in 1994. Did Nitra have permission from Taito? Are they a subsidiary of Taito? Is it a group of hackers? Who knows, but Avenger is the same exact game as Eon Man. Even the music from the title screen is unchanged.
That intro, it's just so good. Now, before anybody makes a big case out of it, I want to explain why this game is showing up now.
Since episode 1, we have been working backwards through NES games from 1994, and we aren't quite through that year yet. Eon Man was technically never released, so I'm not considering the 1993 copyright here. Avenger, on the other hand, was technically released sometime in 1994, and even though unlicensed, I'm going to count it as 1994, and for that reason, I'm going to play the Avenger version. Not that it makes a difference, they are the same game, and now that I have heard that intro song, I can't turn away. The story here is some guy named Dan is attacked by unidentified men. What, did they forget their IDs? Dan creepily takes the guy home and interrogates him on his couch and finds out that his name is Time Diver. Coincidentally, Dan's child from the future invents the technology that lets Time Diver dive through time. Get it? Some evil corporation called Ramadrux wants to prevent this. I mean...
Enough. We know how this works. We all know about Terminator. Can we get to the game?
Dan asks what Time Diver wants, and Time Diver is all like, here, put on my clothes and start jumping through time to save your family and friends.
Can I play the game yet?
Dan's brother is kidnapped in 1993. Fine. Whoa, another great song. And I found the beef store in case anyone needs some beef. Time Diver Dan punches and jumps. He has a life meter. We are moving to the right. Make it inside where a dude drips into existence. Weird. And then you double kick off the walls to move up. I'm getting a Mega Man, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Batman vibe. There's a special move that drains from the arts meter down in the bottom corner. It shoots this wave thing at enemies. Actually pretty cool.
We're actually off to a pretty good start.
If anyone is looking for Bill or Pepper, I found them back outside. This is supposed to be the peaceful 1993? Then why am I being attacked? I'd like to go in this cafe, but the doorman is a ninja practicing sword moves, so I better not. Back inside, I find a Frankenstallone? Yeah, it's Sylvester Stallone walking around like Frankenstein.
Now, before anybody super nerds out, I know it's not Frankenstallone. It's Dr. Frankenstallone's monster. Common mistake.
I make it to the first boss, who throws footballs and charges me repeatedly, and I manage to let him beat me, but I try again, and after however many punches, he switches teams. Punch him some more, and he explodes into 1,000,000 pieces.
Whoa!
I free someone tied up, and it's my brother. Oh, excuse me, it's someone whose name is Brother. How lazy. And he very casually tells me to take a powerful new weapon and go into the past.
So we went from a variant of Terminator to a variant of Back to the Future?
Oh, sweet. A horse. You can't really interact with it. Did you know blue was a very popular color for cowboys in 1882? Again, the music, it's so good. Also, if anybody is looking for any after-school or extracurricular activities, they can join the Bad Club. Never heard of them? They are a feeder group for the club kids. Remember that new weapon Brother gave me? Well, it lets me somersault through chocolate brownie tunnels. The next area, you get chased by a cart with spinning ninja star ornaments, but don't even think about getting comfortable. The colored block changing thing has to make an appearance. It's not as bad as Mega Man, but you better master it. The boss here in the 1880s looks like The Thing had a love spawn with Swamp Thing. He rolls around and shoots wow-wows out of his chest. What a weird attack. Maybe he's mad that he has double clear eyes. He turns red and gets another punch before exploding like the football throwing guy. free somebody again, and his name is Ancestor? Oh wait, is he my ancestor? Again, how lazy. He gives me another weapon, and we are off to 2052. Now we are in the future, and there's a new song here. I know I am repeating myself a lot, but the music is very catchy. And this time, the new special weapon actually does something useful. See here? Freezes time, or at least freezes enemies in place for a little while, and all it costs is temporary color blindness. Kinda useful. We have seen enough of the game so far to get the gist. It's a solid action platformer, cut from the same cloth as titles like Mega Man, Metroid, Castlevania, or Ninja Gaiden. Time Diver is not as high of a tier as those titles, but it is absolutely the best platformer to appear on this series so far. The controls are solid, the wall kicking is fine, the stage design and boss fights vary it up. Some shortcomings are definitely the special move system, of which there are only 5 special moves, and only 2 or 3 of them actually do anything useful during normal play. One of the special moves serves only one purpose, to make the final boss appear later in the game. There are only 5 total levels, granted each level has subsections and a boss fight, but it does feel on the short end.
But hey, quality over quantity, right? I don't like to use terms like hidden gems, but I gotta say this one is at the very least a pleasant surprise. Now I hate to just rush to the end, because I like to play these games and beat them, but the music, I think it's taking over.
Diver, time diver, Avenger.
Or is it Eon, man?
Not quite, MacGyver.
He's just a kid whose name is Dan. He wasn't punching through the show up with that attitude. They brought pepper, I brought beef, now this is what I'm gonna do. The boss can kiss my fist and I will teach him how to count right after my uppercut makes him explode. 2, 3, 4. Dodging monorails and falling down, punching orbs and robot dogs as we're rising from the ground. A spiky blue ball wants to get in my way, but I'm fighting a blue brain on my giant green face. Hey, what you think about that? Red, cream, blue, block swaps, and also a ninja, laser wall projections, and riding sound waves.
Break it solos, leave me alone, then devil on an L-hole. Beat a boss and beat another, he explodes, and here's my brother. Sound waves drop me in electricity from infinity back to 1993. On fire, falling down some more and punch 2 guys at the same time, spitting through a chocolate tunnel. Or is it poop slime?
Hadn't thought about it, hope it isn't, then again, who knows? Travel to the future and I do not have a spare change of clothes.
There's a pink fan, but is there a Darth Vader on that yellow Death Star? Maybe, but I'll see you later. I don't wanna find out, it's too much to put upon my shoulders while I'm walking on a space shuttle, trying to dodge space boulders. Free this lady right before the final boss, he's purple Vigo. Attack the robot eye and it explodes. The end.
Diver, time diver, Avenger. Diver, time diver, Avenger.
How's it going? Got this envelope for you.
Okay, I wasn't expecting anything. What is it?
I don't know, man. I just deliver the stuff.
Wait a minute, how are you delivering a package as a phone?
Technology these days makes it very easy for me to deliver stuff using just my phone.
Weird. It just says turtle or chicken. That's a silly question. Chicken's always better.
What did you just say?
Okay, explain to me how turtle is better than chicken.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters on the NES. Let's go.
Unbelievable. They had to push this thing onto the NES? The Super Nintendo version was good.
Yeah, the story is good too, so it goes like this. The Shredder lays down a challenge to determine who is the strongest.
That seems like a dumb idea. And why are the turtles 4 different colors?
So in this game, you can do versus or tournament besides a single-player story mode.
No way am I doing multiplayer on this garbage. Besides, the story is where it should be at.
Alright, bro, whatever you say.
I'm gonna pick Leonardo.
Typical.
What? The controls are kind of stiff, and it's tough to figure out special moves. These are nothing like modern-day fighting games.
If you want to pull off a special move, you gotta grab the power ball.
What, is it a Dragon Ball?
No, dummy. But you can do a Hadouken type of move with it. Cool, right?
No, not really. What would be cool is if I could just do the move regularly.
How can you hate this? It's a classic fighting game, and there aren't many of those on an old school NES unless you're playing a hacked version of Street Fighter 2 or something. Besides, it's still better than the Genesis version.
I'm gonna show you exactly why Chicken is better than Turtle.
What the heck is this?
Alfred Chicken, you're gonna love it.
My God, that music is painful.
You get to control Alfred, the lovable chicken. He can dive down, which is cool, and you have to release these green balloons, which then act as checkpoints. And it is super fun to boing off the springs.
This game has one-hit deaths. But you know a game doesn't have one-hit deaths?
Shut up.
What is this place? Look at the holes in the wall. Is this a block of cheese?
Not important. What is important is the superior chicken action and such a great platformer. Make your way through the stages and you can turn certain blocks on and off to advance.
What are you doing?
Flying around, getting diamonds, getting this last balloon, and finishing the stage.
Weird.
And look, a bonus area. We get to fly around and catch all these presents.
Until the crazy flower dude looks at you all judgmental. You know who isn't judgmental, though? The TMNT. Let's go back to that one.
Fine.
Next up is the stoner of the group, Michelangelo.
No, he's Mike, according to the game. All the turtles have shortened names, and he's got me stuck in the corner. Not fair.
You gotta be good. Turtle is better than chicken. More challenging, too.
Mike has the dumbest dance, but compared to Raph, notice I didn't say Raphael, he's pretty weak, I guess.
Look, bruh, don't hate on my ninjas. Besides, you got the genius tech Donnie up next.
Well, Don should clean himself up. He looks puke green.
See? Donatello's no pushover. He's quick.
Stupid air move, I wasn't ready.
What's wrong? Can't handle the fact that the turtles are way better than your whack, sorry little chicken?
Here, play the next level of Alfred Chicken while I eat this chicken sandwich.
Man, that actually looks pretty good. What is this creepy looking place with the A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3 blocks? I prefer the cheese holes in the first level.
Down there in the corner is a secret area. Do your turtles have any secret areas like that?
Just traveling around. Nothing special here.
Don't hate. You managed to turn the star blocks on and now you need to turn them off. Alfred Chicken is a strategy platformer. Way better than that button-mashing tournament fighter with the ridiculous premise.
Oh? And what's the premise here? To be an underwater spike-dodging chicken?
I'm so sorry. Are you frustrated that you have to apply skill? You two chicken to keep playing the chicken?
Nobody calls me a chicken!
Did you just reference?
Yeah, but what is this?
Looks like a boss fight with a bad guy. An enemy, you know? We haven't seen any actual enemies with your previous Turtles game yet.
Oh, so you done with that sandwich? Here, I got something to show you.
You gonna eat a turtle sandwich now, you monster?
Wait, what? No. I'm just gonna show you my action figure. Does your chicken have one of these?
No, but if I did, I wouldn't have them in a box. I would play with them. What are you going to do with it in the box?
No, you feeling kind of sad? Need to get something off your chest? Here, write about it. Write all your feelings inside this TMNT notebook.
It takes me a few tries, but I finally managed to beat Don. To do so, I really had to counter his moves instead of just going after him.
See? It's not just pure button mashing. And now this is what you call bonus stage.
What? Whatever this is? Are we just supposed to break the walls?
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this.
Is that a reference to?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I guess this is supposed to be the answer to Mortal Kombat's Test Your Might or Street Fighter's Car Destruction. Silly, but it's fine, I guess.
See? I knew it. You're actually starting to have a good time.
Next up is Vega. Oh, I mean Casey. Why are we fighting him anyway?
Why not? Casey Jones was an important character.
When are we gonna fight actual bad guys? This whole time it's just been good guys. Oh, and of course he flies around awesomely with this tornado spin kick stuff.
Hey, if you, as a turtle, can't beat Casey, then maybe you haven't earned the privilege of going up against any actual bad guys.
What are you talking about? This game came out after the first 3 NES Turtles games. The Turtles have well established themselves as being able to take down the Foot and Shredder. If anything, Shredder should be groveling for a chance to fight the Turtles. He should have to go fight the other bad guys in order to have this opportunity, not the other way around.
That's actually a pretty awesome idea. TMNT bad guys fighting each other.
We can probably agree on that.
So here's Hothead.
Finally, an actual bad guy from the franchise, and he's so cheap, breathing fire.
Hey, this is what you asked for.
He glitches a lot, but it seems like the strategy is make him jump and attack him. He's not able to guard. Cool. I can't fathom how you like this game so much. I mean, why?
I like turtles.
Did you just rep?
Yes. I like turtles.
Let's go back to the chicken. See, this is more like it. This level is pretty screwy. Huh? You get it?
So cryptic. All this nonsense.
The turtles can't do a dive like this. Whee!
You're now at the 4th level, and I gotta say the game is becoming less and less inspiring as it goes on. It's like the developers cared at the beginning, even if it came out goofy. But now it's just bland.
Maybe, but look at how innovative and unique this is right here. I smash Alfred's face against these blocks and it controls where the bomb goes. Pretty advanced for NES platforming, wouldn't you say? Here's some more of that too.
I don't know. Here's some more cryptic nonsense. Now that I think about it, who would want the name Alfred anyway?
Don't make fun of Alfred. Bruce Wayne's butler was an Alfred too.
Hey, what about Alf? Is Alf short for Alfred?
You mean the alien guy?
I think so.
Let's focus on this alien boss guy here.
Same guy as before. Not that much more difficult.
Oh, and the turtles have more variety in that silly tournament fighter? As if.
Smack talk, huh? Well, my guy Shredder is talking smack to you right now.
I'm sure he is, but the only sound I want to hear from Shredder is the sound of my cheese.
Being shredded?
Wow, okay. Also, why does Shredder get his full name, but the Turtles only got the short version of their names?
I would be more inclined to answer, but you're kind of getting your butt kicked right now.
Of course I am. I fought all the other Turtles, Casey, and Hothead before making it here.
Your point?
Some tournament.
Game over screen. Can't handle it, huh?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm angry or irate, but I am motivated now. I need to beat this game, but before I can add shredded cheese to my turtle soup, I want to chow down on the rest of the chicken tenders.
You're making me hungry. I have not had lunch yet.
Well, feast on this.
Like I told you before, the backgrounds and coloring are lackluster.
Nice word, and I kinda agree, but it's still pretty fun.
This underwater area doesn't seem very fun.
Yeah, it's not.
There's always Shredder!
Not yet. First, we help Alfred.
End of the level. What's next?
It's the final boss.
Does he talk enough?
Definitely. So first he flies around and we just shoot him. There's more to it this time, I'm sure.
Kinda lame. The question marks show exactly where he's gonna go.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's gonna get more complicated.
You say that like you already know. Have you beaten this game before?
Nope, never played it in my life.
What? Then why?
Oh, look, second phase.
Okay, I admit, it's a little more complicated. More to dodge, but it doesn't look too challenging.
And now that I've beat him, I get to fly through a bunch of stars.
There's that creepy flower again. What's it doing?
It's blowing me a kiss. Smooch.
Looks like a heart that just turned into another chicken. What is this game?
So now that that's done, I can focus on Shredder.
So how you plan on taking this guy out?
I was thinking about using Shredder's tactics against himself.
And that is?
You know, be as cheap as possible.
What are you doing? That's not a fair fight.
Nothing about this game is, but this is NES. You do what you gotta do to win, and if you beat it, then you've beaten it. So I'm going to beat it. Beat it.
No one wants to be defeated.
Was that a reference to?
Showing how funky and strong is your fight.
It doesn't matter who's wrong or right?
Well, you did it.
Yeah, 2 games beat. You know, for an NES game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters wasn't really that bad.
And looking back, I gotta say that even though the Turtles are my ninjas for life, Alfred Chicken is no pushover.
Did MJ help us from the afterlife?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
Yes, but what's the deal with that envelope exactly? None of this would have happened if it wasn't for that.
I guess we're not going to acknowledge that this handshake kind of looks like we're just holding hands. Well, I guess let's go open that envelope.
What's that sound?
Chicken or turtle?
Tickin'.
Tickin'?
So here we are, we're playing The Adventures of Boogerman. Yep, Booger, yeah. So I'm going around, we're getting we're flicking our boogers, we're getting our capes. So hard, no help needed. Okay, so we're gonna go down the toilet. Here we go, we climbed out of the toilet again. Ah, got him again. So we're almost through with this level. We got another cape. Not sure where to go next. Hey, Genie here. Jenny!
What?
Hey! What? I can't hear you.
Put the phone up to your ear.
Oh, that's better. I can hear you. Hey, I need help, and I'm playing Boogerman. Where are you at?
I'm at Sega's birthday party.
What?
Sega's birthday. Oh God, drink us dance here. Gotta go.
What?
It's the last episode of the first season. But what is a season as it relates to a web series where I'm forced to play video games for a chance to be resurrected? I don't know, but whatever it is, we're certainly at the beginning. Some people might say that we're on a voyage. No, not that kind of voyage. Or a quest. No, not that kind of quest. Or that one either. Or even a journey. No, not those guys. Behave. Last time we debated whether a chicken or a turtle was better, but we were just being silly. This time, we're going to compare 2 games. One is an adventure, and one is a crusade. We'll start with the adventure, and to commemorate the occasion, I've gone ahead and shaved my head so I can look more like Bonk from Bonk's Adventure. Let's play.
So we play as Krillin. I mean, Bonk, I guess. You can jump and bonk your head. We have lizards and weird samurai dudes. I appreciate that we are not restricted to 1 or 2 hit deaths, as indicated by the power meter. And if you eat meat, you gather invincibility. How can you have any pudding if you won't eat your meat? Anyway, just move right. Nothing crazy. Straightforward. Now we are in the second world, and it's a sand level. Reminds me of Super Mario Bros. 3, where the second world is sand-themed. Not sure I like how the power meter wasn't refilled, but like I said before, at least it's not one-hit deaths. Here, we just jump over cactuses, cacti, and watch out for the creeps dressed up like weird rabbits. The third level's looking different from the first two, and it has a pretty catchy song. And then we get to go inside a dinosaur's mouth to get to the next level?
We just went inside a dinosaur's mouth to get to the next level. Somebody should create a game called Joe and Mac and Bonk.
We get our first boss fight against this creepy-looking dinosaur dude. Just bash him with my head a whole bunch, and then in the next level we find out Bonk is our lord and savior and walks on water. I don't remember Goku walking on water. Later we find this trippy dinosaur. Whoa, far out. In the next level we switch from horizontal platforming to vertical ascension. It feels like Kid Icarus meets Donkey Kong Country. Then Bonk finds himself bouncing around on clouds before encountering the next boss, who's this dude who bounces all over the place like a bozo. This one was actually a bit aggravating. Next up is a water level, or water world, but not the kind with Kevin Costner, followed by the boss of World 3 who looks like Skeletor's inbred cousin brother. Personally, I prefer the next fight, with this weird dinosaur boxing dude who's got lame hair. I think it might be the illegitimate love child between Rocky Balboa and the mom dinosaur from the sitcom Dinosaurs. Hey, you gotta fight me.
I know, it's the second Dinosaurs reference this season, but you gotta love me.
Next up is a swimming section, the first we have seen like this so far, and then floating gargoyle things are coming at me. How nonchalant can I be while saying that? I mean, I guess I could have said that chalantly, or chalant-like, with chalants? Bonk's Adventure is the first game in the Bonk series, however Bonk's debut was not on the good old NES. Bonk's Adventure was initially released in 1989 for the PC Engine in Japan with a slightly different name, PC Genjin. The following year, Bonk made his way across the Pacific Ocean and landed on the TurboGrafx 16. The NES port did not occur until a few years later. Bonk's Adventure is more than just the game itself, it's the story of how it and he came to be on the NES.
Of course, Bonk's real legacy is how much this game goes for. Be prepared to shell out a couple $100 just to get a loose copy, and even more if you want to complete in box. Luckily, the game is available virtually, so everybody has an opportunity to play it.
Back to the actual game itself so we can try to end this adventure. We go through this weird door. I'm getting an endgame feel. But isn't this the guy from before? Are we just refighting old bosses? That's exactly what's happening. Here I am fighting the third boss again. At least they give you power-ups along this boss gauntlet. But here's a new guy I haven't seen yet. I couldn't figure out how to hurt him right away, and I lost a few lives, but with some trial and error, I was able to figure out the pattern and finally beat him. And we free a red dragon baby named Princess Za? Is she pizza royalty or something? You know, a dragon-themed pizzeria actually sounds pretty cool, but wait a minute, are we flying off in a rocket thing? What's going on? Level 7-4? Did I not already beat the game? It looks like another boss. The real final boss? You know what? I think we have the real final boss. I bonkily bonk bonks bonker against the guy a whole bunch. He has 2 phases and changes colors. After I beat him, he flies off and the red dragon princess kisses me. Pepperoni kisses.
To sum it all up, it's a pretty decent game. I wouldn't say it lives up to the hype of its price tag by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm glad I was able to go on this adventure. Next up is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, before anybody goes off in the comments about how we skipped other games in reverse chronological order to play them with the original games in the series, let me just go ahead and explain right now. There are two totally different games on the NES titled Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The first one was by Taito, and the second one was by Ubisoft. We'll play the Taito game later with the other IJ games, but for now, we're going to knock out the Ubisoft take on Crusade.
So this is the one made by Taito. The options include music on or off. There's a section where you can enter a code. I enter Nindevil as a code, but it's invalid. Alright, enough screwing around. Let's start the game. First level up is exploring the caves. The graphics are okay for the time, but the cave looks very poopish. We start off right away with falling hazards and some random guy throwing stuff. The animation movement is pretty good, which makes sense from Ubisoft, who also did Prince of Persia. There's a different guy, just punch him. A different guy punches harder. And then I get stuck in lava or acid or a pea pit and can't manage to get out. Exploring the caves a bit further makes me realize that the health bar can get depleted quick. Plus there's a timer, but it can be replenished. I hit the game over screen here. You can't rush it or you're going to face quick deaths from these enemies, but you can't be too slow either because of that timer. The color. Ugh, and I haven't even pointed out the fact that Indy is pink. You keep working through the level, but it's not clear where you're supposed to go. I get to this long hallway that just keeps going. I mean, where am I supposed to go? It turns out you have to find this one particular piece of treasure, and then it lets you go to the same hallway as before, but this time it takes you to a boss battle with this dude who swings a big piece of wood and makes spikes fall. You can punch him in between swings, but you have to be close enough to hit him, and if you're too close, his body automatically hurts you. Once you figure out the pattern and beat this dude, you get a level code. Within There's a tattoo to show your mom.
We are not off to a good start here. The controls are blocky, the enemies are cheap, there's a timer, you have to fetch an item in order to move on, it isn't clear where you're supposed to go, and worst of all, Indy is pink. But you have to have darkness for the dawn to come.
After escaping from exploring the caves, we are next on a train. Too bad it isn't TMNT4. But we are punching dudes, and there's a cart of giant donuts? And we get to jump over giraffes and giant horns? The engineer, or boss, is Tonto? Indian guy? I mean, why? Oh, whatever. I'm just glad this level was a straight shot without having to explore incessantly. His pattern is shoot high, then shoot low. You just whip him a whole bunch. Oh yeah, we have the whip weapon now. And then he's down and we get another code. X5MDGRN3? The next level is exploring the catacombs. The Parisian catacombs? I don't recall them being green with burning diaper bombs. We work our way over here and there's a tablet. It says there are 3 missing pieces. Alright. The second piece is back here behind these thriller skeletons, and then, who is this guy? Sala? 'Cause he's shooting me. Jerk. We find the last 2 pieces with little time to spare, and the next boss is some guy who breathes fire diapers at you. Just smash him with the whip a whole bunch. Real fun. Next. Next up is an attack on a castle. I already died here a few times, so I've had a chance to explore. You'll thank me for not showing you all the idiotic jumping around I was doing. In this level we get to collect stuff, just like the first and third levels. Looks like a letter or something. The bad guys are blue, by the way, and as we find more pieces of the letter, we get more text. After finding the rest of the letter pieces, it talks about a leap of faith. If you've seen the movie, then I'm sure you know what this is referencing. The next boss is super easy. He shoots high, then low, just like the guy from level 2, but this one's incredibly weak compared to the others. I beat him in less than 20 seconds. The next level is escaping from an airship. This dude takes 1,000,000 hits, it seems, and all that just to get a key. After climbing 1,000,000,000 ladders, we whip a dude in the conference room at work for whatever reason, and then the boss looks like the office manager from your work? I mean, what happened? I thought this was the Last Crusade. Sounds more like Indiana Jones and the fired employee who creates a hostile work environment. So first I shoot the work boss a bunch. I didn't even know I had a gun, and then whip him until he's done being my manager. Again, the attack pattern is the same. He shoots high, then low. It's too easy, and it's not fun. How could they do this to Indy? Speaking of which, did you notice in the bottom left corner how it says Indy? Well, there's a reason for that, and it's not just because Indy is short for Indiana.
So here's the answer. The EU release of this game was titled Indy, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, whereas the North American release dropped Indy from the title. This probably made it really easy for people to get confused as to which version of the game they were picking up, and that is all you are getting for a historical section. This one's pretty bad in case you haven't noticed so far.
The 3 trials? Is this going to be like the end of the movie? Wow, something that actually draws upon the source material. Also, the bad guys are on the green team this time. Next, we jump past the blades and fall through the H. I was actually hoping for a letter J, but the developers didn't include a J. I guess they didn't pay attention to the movie. So you walk on the correct letters and then walk across the invisible platform, and now I have to pick the cup? I'm gonna deliberately pick the wrong cup just to see what happens.
It takes me all the way back to the beginning? I guess this wasn't the Last Crusade, but it's about to be!
A bunch of wasted time later.
This time I picked the correct one, and the guy calls me Indiana? How does he know my name? Go home in peace? I guess I don't get to save Sean Connery? Well, let's look at those credits. Graphics by The Chin. Is this The Chin from Hong Kong 97? Not too many people worked on this game, which kind of makes sense. But it's weird to think about a Ubisoft game that has less than a dozen people on it. I mean, these days, Rayman, Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, Watch Dogs, these games have large groups of developers and tons of money.
Wow. Awful and awfully disappointing. Bonk wins a million times over, and in this case, Adventure is better than Crusade. But you know what? The real MVP here is you, the viewer at home. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I hope you'll be able to stick around as we make our way through this expedition of NES history. Hopefully there will be another season, and if so, I'll see you then. Bye!
End of season 1, is it? Time to move on to my next phase of the evil plan. Second player guy. It's time for Operation Cliffhanger.